Hello, welcome back to Assassin's Creed. We gotta go after some wolves, apparently.
Wolves.
A wolf among us.
Do. Is that a book? Sounds familiar.
Maybe, I don't know. It's also just I'm pretty sure it's a saying.
Wolf Among Us? What does it mean?
It's like, there is a wolf among us, and someone's going to cry wolf, and then things will be bad.
I don't think that's what it means.
I'm pretty sure it's something to do with, haven't you heard of a wolf in sheep's clothing?
Yeah.
I think a wolf among us is supposed to be like, there's someone who is trying to hurt us, who's hiding among us.
Someone bad is among us, basically. Something like that. Alright.
Oh no! It's an assassin!
That's no assassin. He's fat. Oh.
Oh, snap.
Snap. Actually, that would be smart. Like, if you want to be an assassin, the whole thing about being an assassin is being sneaky, right?
No, it's about wearing big flowing white cloaks and then buying property in Rome.
In this game, but normally you'd want to be sneaky, correct? So, who would assume that a big fat person is an assassin? Generally, you want to be in tip-top shape, be able to like parkour around the place and whatnot and stab people. So if you disguised yourself as being very fat, you could easily... Oh my god, I just realized. Those fat, jolly cooks could assassinate people so easily. They just look like a good, jolly cook, and then they put like poison in everyone's food and stuff. And no one turns this.
That'll be the new DLC character in Assassin's Creed multiplayer.
The chef?
Just a chef.
A fat chef.
They can't parkour and they can't kill anyone, but they can poison food.
But here's the thing, in like shows and movies, whenever someone is assassinated like by poison at a meal, they never assume it's the cook. They always assume someone else slipped something in or bribed the cook or something like that. They never assume it's the cook himself. That'd be too easy, right? So sometimes being as obvious as possible makes you less obvious.
Well, isn't the point that it's not obvious, though? Like, no one would suspect them, so they're not obvious.
Exactly. So, it's so obvious, like...
No, it's not
if you think
obvious.
someone poisoned your food, wouldn't you... The first thing you naturally would think is the person who made the food probably did it?
No, because the person who made the food probably doesn't even know who I am and has no particular grudge against me.
Okay, but that's the whole point.
Yes.
You wouldn't think that, and then they do it, so...
But I wouldn't have much time to think about it because I'd be dead from poison.
Okay, yeah, but the people who are gonna avenge your death or whatever... Anyways, just something to take note.
Mm-hmm. How do we get to this train of thought again?
Oh yeah, there was a fat guy. Or, he wasn't even that fat, but there was a chubby guy who came at you and you said he was an assassin. That was a nice bush shot, by the way.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to get some scenery in these Let's Plays.
That's good, thank you.
So, by the way, we're protecting Lorenzo de' Medici. I don't really know why.
Yeah, I was just gonna say why. He's the banker, right?
Everyone's bankers in this game.
Wait, Medici. Okay, he's like one of those power families.
Yeah, apparently in history he was actually a pretty bad guy, but they really softened him up for this game. Hey, where's he running off to?
That little wimp. Oh, what?
I love getting knocked over. It makes you so ineffectual for so long for no good reason.
And everyone else kind of paused too. Maybe they just surprised you were on the ground.
Well, no one can actually like jump down and kill you when you do that, so you just sort of lie there while everyone else waits for you to get back up, basically.
Yeah, it's honorable fighting. You never stab a guy when he's down. You kick him when he's up.
You can stab people when they're down.
Well, you're not very honorable then.
But you respect death. You always close people's eyes unless they're just an important NPC, then you don't care.
Then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Even if they're civilians or stuff like that.
Well, you're not supposed to kill a civilian. That didn't actually happen.
Yeah, but you do it anyways.
I wonder if canonically Ezio actually does close the eyes of every single guard he kills, but it's just they don't show it in the animus.
Yeah, maybe like after a big fight he'll go and like...
Go back and find every guard, close their eyes.
And who takes these guards? Because you leave bodies of guards everywhere in the city. Like, it must be such a common occurrence for people just to see dead guards laying in the streets.
Well, again, canonically, did Ezio actually kill that many guards? And are you sure you didn't just hide them all in bales of hay?
Maybe.
You can fit an infinite number of people inside a single bale of hay.
Yes, that is a proven fact.
Mm-hmm. I actually think we should get game theory on it. Or if not, then Mythbusters, the next second best alternative.
Mythbusters. How many dead guards can you fit in a bale of hay? apparently infinite, so, you know, we'll try it out. It's got to be authentic, though.
So first we killed infinite number of people, then we throw them into the bales of hay.
First we killed an entire country, so we had enough, like, people to work with. Then we realized we could only fit about 2 bodies, so it was kind of a waste, but it was for science. Yeah.
So yeah, Lorenzo can defend himself, but he's gonna lose health as you go about, so don't get too far away from him.
How come nobody wants to attack Lorenzo? They kind of all want to pair up on you.
That's just how the combat system in this game works. They all have to target one enemy, and then they can't do anything else, really.
Yeah.
It's like how you... this always frustrated me. Is it ever bother you how if an enemy gets near you and you're like running, suddenly you'll just get locked into a thing with them, and you have to like sprint to get away from them?
Yeah, that is annoying. So how come there aren't any assassins from, like, the rest of the world?
What do you mean?
Like, Ezio never meets up with, say, a French assassin, or, like, some other place that would be close by that would have assassins.
Well, right now the assassins are on decline. There aren't that many assassins. The Brotherhood's fallen.
But are they all
times.
Italian? Like, I haven't heard of any other non-Italian assassin or...
Well, in this game there aren't any non-Italian assassins, but you barely see any assassins. In, later games, you see different cultured assassins, but they mostly stick to themselves, I think.
Actually, that's true, yeah, you do in other games see other ones. But I would think they'd be maybe a little more prominent, or mentioned, or something. Like,
well, right now they can be prominent because there's not that many assassins, but later on you do hear more about other assassins. But then it's... Spoilers, it's a Brotherhood and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. And then it's a very Italian-dominated one, so then, yeah.
Yes. I guess the Italian mobsters are the equivalent, because all mobsters are Italian, let's just say that right now.
I'd love to see an Assassin's Creed set in like a mob time period.
They would just be a mob. It would be like Al Capone would be like the head assassin or something, and they'd show how the mobs actually secretly fight for our rights and save the day.
Yep. With hidden blades and bales of hay.
Yep. It would actually be awesome if they were to do a modern day Assassin's Creed. I know we've talked about this, but instead of doing one set in say the 2000s, they could set it in like the 1950s or something.
Yeah, something distant enough in the past that they can still kind of get creative with it. They don't have to be like, oh yeah, why doesn't everyone just use guns? And why doesn't everyone just use their GPSs to track everyone? Because that's really easy now.
Yeah, they could go back just long enough that they don't quite have the technology we have now, like no computers and stuff, but still be in a cool time when mobs were around and there's a lot of stuff going on.
That was a really cool time, I hear.
It was great, yep. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah. So what do you think of Medici? Because he's a pretty important character for this game, at least.
Well, honestly, I can't really remember anything about him. I know I like his real-life character.
Really? Apparently he's a terrible person, though.
I just love all the Italians from that era. They were all awesome. Like the Pope, who's the villain in this game, Borgia. I love him, even though he was a terrible person in real life and is terrible in the game. I really like him.
What would you say? Worse in the game or worse in real life?
Probably worse in the game because he tries to take over the world, but...
Of course.
You know, that's kind of bad.
Kind of.
He did some good things in real life, but he was just... He wasn't that terrible considering the time period. Like, he did some things that nowadays would be horrible, but that was just normal back then, so...
Yeah, a lot of people tend to forget that time periods actually change.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we can always look back and be like, oh yeah, wow, the 800s sure were sexist, but like, yeah, things were sexist 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it's really easy to take for granted that the modern time hasn't actually been around that long.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like when people get upset of, like, racism in books from, like, 1900 and stuff. It's like, of course there's racism in there. That's just, that was normal.
It's really more offending if they actually cut that out. Because it's like, oh yeah, no, that never happened, guys. Just let's pretend it never happened.
Yeah.
And the thing is also, it is just a story. You kind of have to... Like, stereotypes are unfortunate, but they're kind of an important part of creating a world. Because they exist, they're real, guys. You can't just deny it. Mm-hmm. Speaking of stereotypes, with all these Italian stereotypes we have, you know.
Like what? they're all mobsters and...
They're all mobsters. They're all eating ravioli.
When did we say that?
I'm assuming you said it at some point.
Yes.
If not you, then I'm going to say it now. All Italians are eating ravioli right now.
Oh, every one of them. Doesn't matter where they are, they're eating ravioli.
Yeah, all of those Italians that live in like the States and stuff, actually, you're still eating ravioli right now.
Yeah. It looks like they're eating something else, but really underneath it's ravioli.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those things that Assassin's Creed teaches us. It's one of those conspiracy theories, actually.
That all Italians eat ravioli?
It's one of those lesser ones. Like, you know, they have like these things like, oh yeah, these magical artifacts and space and aliens and stuff like that, but also secret ravioli.
Yes, except they never actually explicitly or implicitly or whatever you want to call it, say it at all. But, you know.
I wish they would speed up those instant kill animations, because I hate how incredibly slow it can be, but sometimes, like, it's really a luck of the draw with it. Like, oh, will I get a really slow one where Ezio does a really fancy flourish for no reason, or will I actually just get to kill them all really fast and take them all out?
Yeah. It's cool, like, when you do it, I'm like, oh yeah, awesome, slow-mo, but it does get tiring sometimes when you have a huge group of guards.
Yeah, but it also ruins your chance to do it multiple times sometimes, because it'll be so slow they'll have time to turn around and kill you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're back up here again.
Classic place. Oh no, bale of hay.
I wonder if he's
Is
got...
he gonna jump?
Oh, that is not how you do...
That's not a swan dive.
Yeah, come on. He just, like, jumped casually, like, feet first and everything. This is how you do it. Back first.
Well, he went head first, really.
Yeah, and then flipped on his back. You gotta have grace and elegance.
Man, you have to have... Like, that'd actually be a really hard jump to do, eh? Like, going head first and then stopping yourself when your back's down, instead of doing, like, a full flip.
Yeah.
Oh, that was easy. You gotta love how with this game, it's fairly realistic, so if you just go and stab someone, they're dead.
Yeah. That's why, like, there'll be big boss fights and I'm just like, nah, I'm just gonna air assassinate them and then it's over instantly. Makes it a lot easier.
It does make it kind of awkward when they try and force it to not be like that, though.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you stabbed him to the head, but he has 10 more hits.
Yeah.
It just goes to show, the more realistic you make a game, the weirder that video game-ish stuff stands out. So, I'm assuming we did something good, because we just killed someone, and that's generally positive.
Killing's always positive.
Yeah, net positive for everybody, except for the person who got killed, anyone who liked them.
But that's okay, because they're dead, so they don't know.
Yeah, they wouldn't know.
No. Do-do-do, and then you hung his body off the jail.
Did you do that? No, it must be those guys. It doesn't seem very Ezio-ish.
No, he wouldn't do that. But he did give the body to them, I'm assuming.
I guess. Other people didn't even slightly react to that horse galloping right by them.
They're used to that sort of stuff back then.
Except when Ezio does it.
Yeah, well.
We're starting to flash forward.
Ah! We got a trophy!
Bloody Sunday. Bloody Sundays.
Bloody Sunday, man.
See you next time.
Bye. Adios. I meant adios.